I wanted to introduce Nikhil. He is the CEO of a company called zaperp.com. And we're going to talk about e-commerce backend management right now.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you so much. So let me just quickly go ahead and share my screen. One moment, please. Okay, so before we actually get started, I just think that I should explain you what we are. So my name is Nikhil Jathar. I'm the founder of zaperp.com. We are into inventory management, multi-channel inventory management for e-commerce sellers. So that means we can connect with Shopify, Amazon, and many others, and we can sync your inventory. Not only that, we can help you to make smart decisions. Now, what they are and how they are, obviously, that will need a different discussions altogether. But maybe during our explanation of Black Friday preparation, I will just quickly go through how we help. So let's quickly cover today's topic and then we'll dig down deeper. So first, we're going to go through the purchase and sales flow, like what all the things that need to do to have the perfect purchase and sales flow for your Black Friday sale, or even like throughout the year, right? And then the second topic is returns, like what are the best practices for the returns, how effectively you can manage them, how to reduce them from the inventory management perspective, of course. Then a third is a shipping part. So shipping means not only about just passing your boxes to your shipping provider, but effectively managing it. So for example, if you have multiple warehouses, how you can get it delivered from the warehouses which is nearest to your customer. So all those things are sort of like a part of the backend inventory management, where software like Zaperp and many others can help and make your human resource as well as your store as productive, as efficient as possible. Okay, so let's start with the purchase and sales then. Now, in terms of a purchase and sales, there are actually two steps. So you have your customers coming into your store, placing an order, then that order comes to you. You see that whether the product is in inventory or not. If it is in inventory, awesome. Then you start the shipping process. But if it is not in inventory, then that means you need to place that order with your supplier or a vendor. And then once your supplier delivers that product, then and only then you can actually ship that product to your customer. So I think this flow where you receive an order from customer, and then based on the availability of inventory, you actually ship it to the customer, or you make a purchase order to your vendor or a supplier, and then you get those items from supplier, and then you deliver. So this end-to-end flow is extremely important, and especially during Black Friday or before Black Friday, when you are receiving tons of orders, you don't have time to actually think what to keep in inventory, what not to keep in inventory. So all these things come like way before your Black Friday preparation, right? So during Black Friday, you need to be as fast as possible. And that's why I always tell our customers, like, you need to keep your options open. So in terms of orders, so if you are, let's say, shipping, you are using maybe DHL, you need to make sure that you are using another shipping provider. So that way, if DHL is not able to do those things, you are able to use FedEx or maybe UPS or maybe any other local provider that you have. So first point is always keep those options open, especially in terms of a shipping. Second, have multiple payment providers. Now, just to give an example, one of our customer during last Black Friday sale actually had issue with the payment provider. So they were using a local payment provider, which is based out of India. I'm not going to take a name, but that payment provider started failing. And these guys were actually supplying all over the world. So they were shipping all over the world. And next thing you know, the payment provider is failing. So what? So all those orders are coming as a unpaid. And next thing you know, those orders eventually going to get canceled. So make sure that you're using the secure payment method. You have alternate payment method set up. Then obviously the personal touch to your orders. Now this is something that I'm pretty sure you guys are already doing. Ship as soon as possible. Again, another thing that whenever you receive an order, make sure that you're shipping as soon as possible without waiting for the specific order to get due and so on. Now this is where actually inventory management softwares can start to help you out. So I'm going to go and dig down a bit deeper, but I just quickly run through these points and then go through like how inventory software can help you to manage all these things. Under promise, but over deliver. So this is great saying. So on your website, you can always say that to be on the safer side, that it can take 2 to 4 days to deliver the items. But in actual, if it is taking you less than 2 days, go ahead, start deliver the process and deliver the items. So that way customer will always have great feedback for you. Now, let me slow down a bit so that I can explain you how, as an inventory management software, we are helping our customers to handle all these processes. Okay, so let's go to share the screen. Okay, this is what we actually have developed for our customers in terms of managing their backend processes. Now, as I mentioned, once you receive an order, your clock starts because you have order. Now it is your job either to make sure that customer knows that you don't have those items and that order is going to get delayed, or start the delivery process. There is a third option also, which is basically cancel the order. But I'm pretty sure none of you want that, right? And specifically these days, due to real-time inventory, most of the orders, like if the items are not there in the system, the user won't be able to process the order or like make the payment and give that order. So I won't go into the third option. But let's go with the first option itself. So you're going to receive the order. Now what happens once you receive the order, right? So once you receive the order, the next step is to basically start with the sales order and the shipping process. So first and foremost, sales order gets created. Then from that, you create a package. Because at the end of the day, let's say if you're not a small vendor, if you are a big e-commerce seller, you're going to have multiple warehouses. So that means the sales order is going to get received by some person, and there is going to be some person who is going to process that sales order, put those items in the boxes. So that's where the software will kick in and say, you know what, you need to convert that sales order into a package so that your guy who is at the warehouse can go across the warehouse, pick up those items. Maybe there are certain items that are not available. Like say some customer ordered 10 items, but only 7 items are available. So that means he's going to pick those 7 items, put them in a pick list, then come back to the warehouse mainframe and put that in a software that, okay, I picked up 7 items. So that means in the package, only 7 items will be displayed. So that means it's a partially packaged item. But again, you need to keep on processing those orders. So you package those items, you put them in a box, you print the shipping labels, and you start the shipping process. So all this process where the items are getting ordered, they're getting packed, whether it's partially, fully, doesn't matter. Now then shipping process starts, the shipping label and the order is processed. So all this process is very, very important, and inventory software helps you to manage it effectively, to make sure that you don't do any mistakes, you don't miss any items. So all those, any things that can cause headache later on are reduced like at max. So you don't have to worry about it at all. And especially these are the things that are not managed by managers or CEOs and founders and right. These are managed by people who are at the warehouse. So many times they are handling like thousands of orders. So next thing you know, you don't want to be worried about some customer not receiving certain items. By doing this partial packaging, partial delivery, you can communicate with the customer that, hey, we are not doing the full delivery, but instead of that, we're just going to give you the partial items. We're going to give you the remaining items in a 1 week, 2 weeks. So we can show those back-ordered items to a customer in his order details. So all those things can be managed very effectively by any leading inventory management software. They will do the real-time sync. So example, let's say if you are using Shopify, it can actually communicate with your Shopify customer, letting them know that the shipping has started, or if the package has been partially fulfilled, then the software can tell the customer that the package was partially fulfilled. So now remaining items will be delivered later on. So this is just a gist of like what all the capabilities of a system that you can use effectively during Black Friday and throughout the year, to be honest. So let me jump to the next slide where I can actually go through some of the inventory points. So that means you need to check your product inventory. You need to analyze your supplier performance. Now this is interesting. So as I mentioned, sometimes you don't have those items in a stock, but you have received orders, right? So that means you need to order these items from your supplier. So before you actually do all this experiment during Black Friday, you need to make sure that you have analyzed your supplier performance very well. Now, again, any good inventory management software will tell you that okay, your supplier 2 is performing better, your supplier 3 is performing best. So all these things can be helpful when you are actually handling thousands of orders during your Black Friday or any Thanksgiving sale. Then order before reaching minimum stock quantity. Now this is again very interesting point. So this is actually crux of an inventory software, that you need to be able to purchase these items from your supplier before you actually hit those minimum stock quantities. Because if you're already hitting the minimum stock quantities, that means your order, which is like your quantity which is in stock versus quantity which is order, is going to go haywire, and you don't want that. You want to make sure that the order quantities, the quantity which is displayed in the stock versus the quantity which is available in the store versus the quantity which is actually can the customer order, is all is in order. That way a customer doesn't get any issues when they are placing an order. At the same time, your supplier will have enough time to get those items delivered to you. Then inventory management. So the crux of that is inventory management is essential. Last is make use of technology. Of course, you need to make use of technology as much as possible. I know many of our customers, as well as many of the e-commerce sellers, they use Excel. But to be honest, I know that, I mean, personally, when I was doing our e-commerce sales, we used to use Excel, and it wasn't helpful at all. All Excel did was, it used to tell us, you know what, 10 items remaining, 5 items remaining, but it never told us like how much actually getting ordered, like how much is in progress, how much is getting shipped, how much I actually made a purchase from a supplier which I haven't received those items yet. So all those individual quantities were not visible at all. So these are the things can be used or can be sort of displayed using technology, and technology just doesn't stop there. Technology can give you much smarter results. You can use AI, machine learning to actually tell your all the warehouse guys as well as your accountant or your purchase guys that, okay, these are the items which might be in short during the next sale. So let's make sure that we purchase these items in advance. So all those things can be very, very helpful and can be used by having the right technology in place. So in short, the conclusion is inventory management is the key. So Natalie, I hope I'm not being too fast.
No, just the right speed.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. So the conclusion is, you need to make sure that inventory management, you are properly doing it right. You are using proper softwares. Even I would say, even if you are using Excel sheet, make sure that you are feeding all the data from your Shopify store to your Excel. And that way you know exactly how many items are remaining, how many items you need to purchase from your supplier, then how many items are getting returned. Now that is something that I'm going to talk next. So one thing that I always tell to the customer, that 80% of your profit is going to come from 20% of your stock. Very, very important. And inventory management is going to help you to identify that 20% of the stock. At the end of the day, I like 10 things, but that doesn't mean that my customers order those 10 things. Customers might order those 2, 3, 4 top items. So inventory management going to help you to know exactly what all those 4, 5 things are. And that way you will keep only those items in stock, while rest of the items, you can say, you know what, we will do real-time supply. So that way, whenever you receive an order, you can always mark that order as a back order, purchase it from a supplier, and then get it delivered to your customer. Now, next is actually effectively managing your shipping and returns. So this is all related, because at the end of the day, your order, like if you receive an order, you're going to get it from your supplier, you're going to get it delivered, all good. But next thing you know, the customer doesn't like the product, so he's going to return it. So that means you need to be worried about those returns, like managing whether it's a partial return, whether it's a full return, whether it's a damaged returns, whether it's something like a replacement, not a return. So all those things become so important, and especially when it's a regulatory concern, like in Europe or in UK, not much in North America, but in Europe and UK, where regulation says that you need to handle the return and you need to make sure that the returns, the refund of the payment is done in time. So if you don't do that, there are heavy penalties, right? So all those things, then again, inventory management software can be very, very helpful. These are backend stuff. I know, I mean, many times I talk with the customers and they are like, you know what, we don't care. We just want to focus on marketing. We're going to get more leads. We're going to have more customers onboarded. But, next thing you know, these customers, they're going to come to your store, place an order. And once they get a bad experience, they're going to give a bad review to you. And eventually all you're going to do is keep on getting new customers, but your old customers won't be reordering the items from your store. So that means you're going to lose those customers and you're going to have heavy churn, which is very, very bad for any business. So it doesn't matter whether you are in e-commerce or whether you are in a SaaS business like us, right? So you need to make sure that your customers are happy by allowing them to actually have the freedom of returning the items and returning effect, at the same time allowing them to place a review. So if you have some sort of a review channel or feedback mechanism, make sure that whenever they are returning that item, you collect the feedback, you understand that why they're returning it. Just to give a simple example, if you are returning an item, even on big sites like Amazon, they always ask you to put a return description or the return reason, right? So they use all this information, and based on that, they always improve these things. So for example, I remember I was actually working with Amazon guys for one of the headphone company where the headphone company is actually our customers, and those Amazon guys, those actually told me that one of the return reason was for this guys, the company, was the headphone, the headset was too big for most of the common users' ears, which is weird, right? But then what they did is they actually started putting a description of exact sizes of the headphone earpieces on the Amazon product description. So this is something feedback that was given from Amazon to the seller, and the seller actually started putting that description in the Amazon sales page. So very, very helpful. That actually helped them to reduce those returns, and obviously by saving that return cost, they improved their revenues. So again, that comes to accurate product description, ensure outstanding customer service, then images, videos, they are extremely essential. If you can put like real practical images where the product is getting used by some person, that is extremely helpful. Analyze data, realize your errors, mobile commerce. Now, one thing that I would like to add it here, there are many softwares which can help you to actually add right images, right videos to your Amazon or Shopify or WooCommerce sales page. And many people don't understand this because they think that, okay, you know what, I'm just going to go to Amazon, I'm going to put the description, I'm just going to copy from 3-4 things from here and there, and now I'm all good. But no, that's not how it works. I mean, Amazon or any other site, actually, you have full freedom to add your own description in a way that user can think. And that is extremely important, because when you add right images, right videos, again, you're going to get more orders, less returns, and better reviews. Mobile commerce. Now, this is something that it's very common, right? So, but I'm talking in terms of returns. So, many people, they don't have a website to accept return, or they don't have web pages to accept returns. What they do, the customer end up talking with the customer service, where they need to talk with them and tell them, you know what, I placed this order. Then customer service is going to ask them, oh, you know what was your order number? And next thing you know, that customer is already frustrated because he expects this to be seamless. I mean, again, if I give you an example of Amazon, they have a return portal where all you have to do is select the previous order, say that I would like to return this order, enter the reason, and that's it. You're done. So good inventory management software actually can offer you the return panel where the order, all customer has to do is log into it, see the orders that they have placed, select the items that they would like to return, enter the quantity, depend, and then enter the reason, and then place return requested. So that way what happens, that return comes to you as an e-commerce owner, you either approve or reject it. And once it is approved, your customer is going to receive some sort of a return slip, is going to put that in a box and give it to your shipping vendor. So that makes the customer experience excellent. And this is what actually matters. So if you use any good software that can handle the returns, that can make or break difference. That can make or break your store a lot. So in short, last conclusion that I would say is communication is the key. And how you achieve that communication? By being transparent as much as possible, right? So by offering them return panel, by offering them a good return window, or having a small customer chat on your store, right, during the Black Friday, to make sure that if they have any question, concerns, they can chat with your customer care, and that way those questions or concerns will be answered and they will be able to place the order. So all this is very important, and I'm pretty sure even my previous speaker Kevin mentioned some of these things, that all you have to do is this is in place before the Black Friday, so that way those customers who are like placing an order, or even if you, let's say, just testing these things out, you will make sure that they are in the right flow and there are no mistakes. Then last, which is the main topic, preparing your e-commerce store for the Black Friday. So at the end of the day, Black Friday is the busiest day, or I would say the busiest time for like pretty much any e-commerce seller. So like, what are the things that you need to keep in mind? Number one, you need to make sure that your website can handle the increased traffic. And guys, we have seen like many of our customers, especially the customers who are on WooCommerce, their website is going on toss whenever the traffic hits. And if your website cannot handle this traffic, that means all the efforts that you have put in for your backend, for your supply chain, for your advertisement are all like waste. So just remember, your website should be able to handle the traffic. Make sure that your third-party tools are able to handle the traffic. I remember last year where like one of our customer actually received more than like 200,000 visits, and there were so many back-ordered items. So all those hits started hitting our servers, but our servers were completely scalable. All good, not a problem. But next thing you know, that customer of ours were using some sort of a third-party tool to manage their social proofs and other analysis, and that started failing. So next thing you know, that same feedback started coming to his store, and that started coming to our store, and we started receiving all 504 error, 502 errors, and so on. I mean, nothing failed on our side, but when we actually looked under the hood, we realized that none of the orders are coming in. And we asked him, like, what the heck is going on? He said, this is what happened. His third-party tool failed. So you need to make sure that your third-party tools are scalable enough to handle that traffic. Now, watch out for competition. Now, this is very interesting. You need to be smart. You need to place something different that your competition is not doing. So make sure that you're doing something which is extraordinary, not something like a copycat. So watch out for a competition, come up with some early trends, early offers, so that way you will not have to worry about the competition and the end of the Black Friday, like a deal frenzy. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Again, as I said, make sure that you are prepared. The servers are prepared, your third-party tools are prepared, your payment gateways, your products, your supply chain, all those things are prepared. But all these things can go wrong. So make sure that you have some sort of a workflows where if things go wrong, you will be able to communicate to the customer that, hey guys, these things are sort of on hold or sort of suspended at the moment, but we are working on it and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Just be transparent. I don't think you need to like add any, like sugarcoat it. You can just be straightforward and let the customer know that it's going to take a little bit more time. Offer additional advantages. Now, this is interesting. What are the advantages that you can offer? First of all, you can have the purchase flow as seamless as possible. So whenever customer placing an order, make sure that the payment gateways are available and they are in local. Like if you are selling internationally, make sure that you're offering the payment gateways which are there in that specific country. Second, make sure that the shipping process is also seamless. So what does that mean is, if you start the shipping for particular items, your customer should receive some sort of email, SMS saying that, you know what, we have started the shipping process and this is your tracking code. You can click here and track the item. It's very, very important. In any good software, whether it comes to our inventory management software where we integrate with Aftership, ShipStation, and many other good shipping providers, we actually make sure that whenever the order is received from any channel and whenever it is shipped from our system, we push that data to the shipping provider, so that way the shipping provider can SMS or email to your customers and let them know that the shipping process has started. And third is the returns. And as I mentioned, return is very, very important. I know many of you think that return comes at very last, but trust me, customers, they're going to get frustrated. And when they are frustrated, they're going to give you very, very bad review. So make sure that you have that advantage. You're using like a sophisticated software to manage your returns. So that way customer doesn't have to like go through all the steps just to return one single items. Preparation. I think some of these points are already covered in previous webinars, but I just want to like go through them quickly. First of all, make sure that you have enough stock in your warehouse, because if you don't have stock, that means you need to order it from a supplier, and next thing you know, supplier is already bogged down with tons of requests from other sellers. So that means your purchase request is going to go on hold, and your items going to get delayed, and then your delivery is going to get delayed. Very bad. Consider important products. Now, this is where, again, inventory management software can help, because you can use machine learning and AI to determine what all important products that you have. And based on that, you can keep certain quantities. In fact, some of the great inventory software can suggest you like what exactly quantity you should keep during your Thanksgiving sale, during your Christmas sale, and during your Black Friday sale. Gift card, you need to make sure that you have decent number of gift card in place, so that way there are no errors, or that is also another important factor. Checkout process, make sure that it is as perfect as possible. Mobile e-commerce, try to keep everything on the mobile. You don't need to have a special app for it. Even a good responsive website can be very, very helpful, because that way customer can just use their mobile phone to place the order, or to place the return, or to see the return status, or to see the shipping status. Marketing. So I think this one is the last one. Again, I think sort of covered by many other speakers. Make sure that your communication is effective. If you can write good articles, blogs, start writing them not on the Black Friday, but at least 3 to 4 months before the Black Friday. Create attractive advertisement, give irresistible offers. And this is where a software we also offer some freebies. So we have a software called Social Proof. So that software actually gives a social proof whenever customer makes a purchase on your website. And not only that, it can it can show some of the beautiful pop-ups. Like, for example, 40% discount is ongoing, 30% 3 days sale is going on. There are only 2 days remaining for the sale, and so on. It's 100% free. We don't even have a branding on it. So that is something that you can check. Now,
I'm sorry, we're running out of time. So if you could just please maybe share a little bit of information where listeners can find you, get to know a little bit more about your company, and connect with you.
Absolutely. So do check out our website. It is zaperp.com. You can always reach out to me by emailing me, nikhil@zapapps.io. We are into end-to-end inventory management software. We also help e-commerce sellers in terms of their marketing and sales strategies. So do reach out to us, and it has been great